Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tools for Personal Evolution. In today's episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with Desi, a beautiful human who has spent the last few years traveling and working all around the world. In this episode, we uncover the tools to help you work and travel, Mindset Techniques by Tony Robbins, and the power of self-belief. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome everyone to today's podcast. So here is it Des or Desi or what?
Desi.
Desi. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you want to start with a quick little intro about yourself, just to where you came from, how you got here, and a little bit about what you do right now?
I come from Italy. I've been living in Australia for like 4 years almost. And I came here randomly because I finished university and I graduated and I was like, I'm not ready to settle down. So I came here to have an experience and, with COVID and everything, I just stayed longer. And then I started traveling and I got myself into travel that much that I was like, I don't want to absolutely settle down for at least other, 5 or 6 years. And just live the full-time traveler life.
Yeah.
And that's why after I traveled all around Australia, I got back to Italy, for seeing family and that kind of stuff. And I felt like I was so disconnected with the regular life, with all my old friends. And, I was like, what should I do? Just go back to a regular job or go back to Australia? And that's when I started my own business online because I wanted to be able to travel and work and not be stuck in a place or with a schedule or those kind of things.
Yeah.
And now it's been a year.
A year?
Yeah, a year and almost an half.
That's pretty crazy. I think that's my goal for next year. And I think a lot of people have that sort of goal in mind. And yeah, so it's always cool to listen to other people that have actually achieved that and are doing that. So do you want to tell everyone what you actually do and what your online business is?
Yeah, so I do digital affiliate network marketing. It is a big word. There's a lot to say for explaining it perfectly, but basically what I do is partnering with a company and do the marketing for them, so I get paid for every sale that I make.
Yeah.
So it's like when you go to a restaurant and you like the food and everything, so you go on your social media and you share it or you tell your friends, your family. So basically you're doing the marketing for the restaurant.
Yeah.
And people go there and the restaurants gets money for it because you did the marketing, but you didn't get any money. So I do all that things and I get the money.
That's good.
So yeah.
What are you doing marketing for? Is it water? Was a water filter?
Yeah, it's not a water filter, it's a water
close.
Ionizers. Yeah,
Ionizers.
It's electrolytes water, reduced water.
Yeah.
For a Japanese company. Yeah.
Okay. Can you talk us through that a bit more?
So basically this water ionizer works for drinking water, but also for helping your natural well-being and health, and also for sustainability for the environment, because through electrolysis it modifies the pH of the water, and you can use the different pHs for your body, for your skin, for your hair, for cleaning, for washing veggies and watering plants. Like there's almost 70 uses that you can use just one machine, and you connect it to the tap water. So you're basically, saving a lot of money for instead of buying products.
What's the pH do? So there's different. So we're at 7 normally.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know if you know that your body is lightly alkaline. It's around 7.3. And it depends a lot on the food and the thing that you put into your body or the products that you use. That's why some people have, a more sensitive skin or this kind of stuff. While you can use just water with different pH to get your body to the perfect state and alkaline state. Okay. So through the drinking water that is hydrogen rich, you can alkalinize yourself from the inside. And through the different pHs, you can, help your body and skin and hair.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
cool.
You
yeah.
got really into I remember you saying you're really into the whole study behind the water.
Yeah. You can actually alkalinize your body on your daily life.
That's what I was going to ask you, right? Is that just through the water, or are you talking about breath work? You're talking about meditation? Is that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things to alkalinize your body. Yeah. That's the focus on being healthy, not just the absence of diseases, but being full of energy and vitality without drinking caffeine or energy drinks or doing a lot of things. So small things, you can add lemon to your water every day, and it helps to get your body alkalized.
What about eating an entire lemon?
Yeah, you can eat an entire lemon. And the fun thing is, it seems like it's acid, but it's actually a help your body alkaline.
Yeah, okay. Because what's funny is like the guy across the road, he makes me like a lemon shot every morning, and he kind of dared me to eat the lemon.
Yeah.
Like just straight with the skin and everything. And I was like, sure, you know what? He did it with me, so I hate leaving someone hanging, so I was like, I'll do it with you. But since then, you can see all the lemons in the lemon. I've been eating lemons like raw, like with the skin and everything. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because my nonna, they did that as well.
Really?
Yeah, they did the whole thing.
Do you feel the benefits?
Oh yeah, I feel alkaline in a second.
In a second?
No, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know.
For sure, it's gonna wake you up.
I don't know how I feel like the alcohol. I don't know if I can actually tell. I think the only time I can tell with the alkalinity, if that's a word, is when I'm doing the Wim Hof breath work. I can kind of feel like this shift in my state. In that sense, I can't really tap into that because I know like his sort of breath work is all about alkaline in the body through deep inhalation and massive exhalation at the end and holding the breath. So you release all the you just got carbon dioxide building up in the blood. Yeah, because do you know much about that? Like, is that
not that much as you. I got into breath working just recently, but I know Wim Hof, like his breath working and power breath, that you have to inhale, like the ratio is like 1:4:2. So inhale, let's say for 8 seconds, then hold your breath for 32 seconds, and then exhale for 16. And I know the first time I did it, I was dying after the third breath. I was like, that's a long time. So I'm now starting with like 5 or 6 seconds. And I feel better. And I know that because when you inhale, you don't know how to breathe. And it's the most important thing. You're doing all day, and it's basic for you to survive.
Yeah. So you're doing much breath work now? You just do the same?
I do every morning.
Every morning?
Every morning, I wake up at 5. And the first thing I do is...
Part of the 5 a.m. club? Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, since like 2 months now.
Oh, okay.
Because I try. No, I've been trying to do this kind of challenge with myself, and I cut out the caffeine, and it's crazy. Like I can do a lot of stuff from 5 a.m. in the morning. And,
I cut out caffeine as well, and for a while now, I feel great. But like, look, I don't mind having it on a holiday, you know. Like, if I'm on a holiday and I don't need to work, I'll have caffeine because I don't care if I get anxious. But if I get anxious when I need to work, my work.
I never got anxious with coffee. So for me, it was.
I was a serious time. So am I. So I'm not the worst time ever.
Yeah, but for me it's the taste. So sometimes, like now I'm drinking decaf and I'm like, what is actually worse? Because I know that decaf is like made through chemicals and that kind of stuff. So it's always, weird things that you put in your body. And I'm like, I love the taste of coffee. But if you do it once a week, it's like my drug, let's say.
Advice. So, okay, let's go back to your traveling for a little bit. So you've traveled, you get this online business now. Somewhat your passion, I'd say, because it's tied to health. But what is your actual passion? We spoke about this a little earlier, so I'm quite interested to dive deeper into it, which is your school.
It's education. I think in the general word that it can be like early childhood education. That is what I studied, but also educate people. Educate like with mindset tools, so about these things. It's not just teaching, but just educating how to live better. Because I feel like nowadays there's so much stress around, especially with all the digital and all the fluidity of the things, and everything goes so fast that people need to slow down. So that's my passion.
What tools are you looking at, and ones have you implemented? Which ones have you found work best for yourself?
Like for
which ones would you use at the school? Like if you guys are.
Oh, that's a highlight. All of that.
That's like your top 3 tools.
In my school, you mean?
Yeah, you got your hypothetical school. Like you got the money to run it. And I go, okay, what tools do you implement into these schools?
Well, that's different because my big project is to open my own childcare, as I already told you. But one is the work with the kids, and the other one is the work with the parents.
Okay.
Because I think the kids, you don't use the same tools that you use for the parents because they don't have developed that limiting beliefs and that structure that comes from the parenting.
Right.
So it's two different lines.
Okay.
So what I like.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to go with the kids? Do you go with
I
the
could
parents?
go. I would go with the parents.
Yeah,
As I think like the people that listen to the podcast are not 3 years old.
Yeah, they might want to implement it to their kids. But anyways, that's
yeah, but
let's go with the parents.
Yeah, but if you want to implement like your kids' behavior, you have to implement yourself. It's never the kid's fault.
Yeah.
Like when you say my kid doesn't listen or my kid behave bad, it's not his fault. It's how you're parenting it. And it's sad to say, but yeah, it's your expectation and how you are raising that kid that make him, it doesn't do it on purpose. It's just learning what you're teaching.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting. Like, you've done Bruce Lipton.
Huh?
Bruce Lipton. Have you watched him? A really interesting guy. He worked on genetics. He was like one of the first geneticists back in the day. And this is when they said genetics can't be changed. Like, like when you're born with your genes, kind of stuck with these sort of like hereditary sort of traits. He then discovered that he coined a term called epigenetics, which just means above genetics, which means that pretty much your environment and your emotions control your genetic expression.
Yeah.
So by changing the environment you're in, by changing your state of being, you change the genetics. And so I was actually under the theory that I had was like, well, yes, okay, you pass on genes, but let's say you're a very stressed parent, or you're an alcoholic, or you have certain tendencies and vices that affect your own hormones, then those genes are now expressed in you then pass on to the kids. And so yes, it's passed down through your genes, but did it originally come from your own emotions and your own inner sort of being?
Yeah.
I guess. And yeah, so like, what's your thought on that? And
I don't know much about it, but I read about it or listened to something that says like fear is the most powerful thing to transfer to the generation. You can say that for the generation, just fear, because it's from the instinct. So yes, it's kind of cool. So if you change yourself, then you can change your kid, and then you don't have to change, just improve and get better, get the best version of yourself. That's what I always say.
So what are these tools that you discovered that help parents and maybe help yourself?
First thing you have to analyze yourself and like what's your struggles, what's your fears, what's your beliefs around the world. Your belief system is what the meaning that you give to things is what controls your life. If you think that life is shit, then you're gonna have shit in your life. If you think that life is a gift, then you're gonna see everything like as a gift. That's the basic of what you how you're gonna live your life. So emotion and meaning controls the quality of your life, I would say. So the first thing is working on your meanings and your emotions and understand why do you believe that. Why life is a challenge, why life is a gift. What happened in your life that made you think that. So the first thing is to work on every belief that you have around the world about life, about love, about friendship, about work, anything, and try to understand where does that belief come from. And most of it comes from our parents and how we raised up, And so if you're not happy with your life, you might want to change your belief system.
Yeah. And what, for yourself, do you have any examples of that?
Like how I changed my belief system?
Yeah, belief systems that your parents maybe passed on to you and you've now changed yourself, or you're currently working on changing?
Well, I think the main that I changed, it was about just how you have to live your life. So you go to, and I think this is very common between all of us. So you just go to school, you get good marks, and you have to study a lot to get a good job, a well-paid job, and work your ass off because you can get, a little raise on your salary, and then you can have some good things like holidays or a little, treats and stuff, and then you save up money to buy a house and have kids and have a family, and then go retired. This is, the belief system. And I was like, why? Why should I do that?
100%,
And I was studying and I was following the path. I went to school and I was getting good grades, and then I went to university and I was feeling like, is that it? Like now I have to find a job, settle down, and then buy myself a house and have a family. And what's next? What if I change? What if I do something else? And that's why I decided to come to Australia to have another experience, something that nobody does. and it changed my whole life. Now I'm on a total different path, from the regular people, I would say.
Yeah. So what's your path you on?
So I'm on the path of building my own future. So like when you start, and like my mindset shift was from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. And it takes a lot of work to do that because you don't work for someone else, you're working for yourself. But nobody teaches you how to work for yourself. So when you have a lot of free time and you're like, okay, I should work on my business, but I have all this free time. So maybe an hour is going to be fine. And you realize if you work 1 hour, that's what you get for an hour work. So the business
crazy,
is the same.
Right? Because it's not like you got your standard 8-hour shifts, right?
Yeah.
When you have your own business, it's like actually 8 hours isn't even enough.
Yeah, exactly.
it's not. Like you gotta be putting in 16 maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But
you're doing with purpose. You're doing with meaning. You're doing for something that is for yourself first. You like it.
But some people aren't, right? Some people have a business and they're entrepreneurs, and I guess you could say it's behind purpose, but this could be, what like when you say purpose, right? What do you mean by that? Like, are there certain purposes that are more true and more ideal for you than others? Like, because I could say my purpose is to make money, or my purpose is to help children. Like, they're very different things.
I have a tool.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I actually have a tool for that. I don't know what it's called, and I don't know where I learned it. It's not from me. It's something that I learned, and it's called the 7-level deep why. So when you do something, when you run a business, when you do a job, when you are really you're after a goal, a certain things, you are doing for something. You have your reason. But behind the reason, there's another reason, and then behind that reason, there's another reason, and you can go deep as far as like 7 levels. When you go around the 4th, you don't understand like why are you doing it. But the thing is, because you have to go really, really deep within yourself. So let's say, okay, I started a business online. Why did you start the business online? For having the money and having the freedom to do whatever I want. Why? Because I worked my ass off all my life and I deserve to live, freely and everything. Why? It's already getting harder to find the answer. And you're like, oh shit, why? Because I deserve it. Because when I was a kid, I didn't have the time because I had a shitty childhood and I couldn't enjoy anything of like what the other kids could have. And then why? Because my family was broke, because I lived in a foster family, because I had a lot of things going through. And so why is this important to you? Because I want to show myself and show my family and show anyone that it doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through, you can do anything you want. You see how deep you can go? Yeah. When you have that deep, and I want to help my family, it's not just about me. When I want to achieve my financial freedom, it's also to help my family and to help those kids that, didn't have the same help that I finally had when I was 16 years old, And so that's the purpose, that's the why, that's the reason. When you have enough and good reason to follow through, then when you're going to be successful. Yeah. If you're doing just for money, you're not going to be successful. Because if you say like, I want more money, there you go, $50, that's it, But when you have a deep meaning, when you have a deep purpose, it doesn't matter how hard it is, it doesn't matter, how long it takes, you just keep going.
Yeah. And how many levels deep are you?
You can go it depends on you. Like you can go.
Do you think you are?
No, on the 7 levels. Yeah, you can go also 10th or 7. It depends how you can come out with the reason. Like now I can go deep in 3 levels. Because I learned how to do this. Like even when I'm after something, could be even buy a guitar, like a stupid thing. Yeah, exactly. You can use the same framework. And any goal, anything you want to achieve, you can use this framework. And the more you use it, the easier it is to find your purpose. Right. But if you never used it, the first time after the 3rd one, you're gonna be stuck. And the thing is, don't get stuck. Yeah. Keep diving deep into yourself.
I feel like it's infinite in terms of levels.
But it goes all down to your childhood.
Yeah, it goes really deep.
Yeah. That's why I'm, that's my passion, childhood education and parenting education. Because sorry the word, but if we are all fucked up, it's because of our childhood and because how we, we're taught.
They say the first 7 years, like your your programming. The first 4 years
Exactly.
is like your character's developed. So even your characteristics and
Yeah.
your personality is developed in the first 4.
Yeah.
And depending on your character trait, so for example, you have like, if you use the big 5 personality trait, which is like agreeableness, neuroticism, extroversion, openness, and conscientiousness. You get quite stuck in those. Funny enough, the only one that can kind of change is openness, of course. So if your trait openness is quite high, then you can kind of shift personality traits a little bit different. What I found really interesting was that if you take psychedelics, right, and you have a mystical experience, it actually increases your trait openness by 1 whole standard deviation.
That's so cool.
It's insane. So that's why I think, like, in terms of like, if you're looking to, like, if you really want to break some like habits within parental sort of structures that you have and mindsets and stuff like that, it can be a tool for you to kind of crack that character and then try and build a new one. Because what it also does is you have like neural pathways, right, in your brain that's set in place. So imagine every time I work a muscle, that muscle gets stronger. Same thing with the neural pathways. The more habits that you continue to do, the stronger that neural pathway becomes, and other ones die.
Yeah.
When you take mushrooms like that, it actually turns on all the neural pathways again. So then you are able to now create new habits easier because those pathways are now lit in your brain. And so it makes the change a lot easier. That's the science behind it. So that's how it actually works, which I found really interesting. So that's why I would like to implement that sort of work to character development and for parents, because we're quite rigid and we're quite stuck in our ways. And so if we want to change, this can be a helpful tool. Some people are afraid of the change, right? They're like, oh shit, like I don't. Who am I going to become after this? It's like, well, maybe you become more of your authentic self, or you become something different. But why be afraid of that?
Yeah, but you can use the same framework. Why are you scared of change?
Yeah.
And if you go deep 7 times, you will find why you're scared of change.
Yeah. So,
and you will see, like, most of the people are scared of leaving people behind. So if you change, the people that you hang out now that love you might not loving you, or because of all the belief system that's behind.
Do you think like the world is also asking you the same question back? Like it asks you why? Do you ever get that feeling? So example, like I want to do this health coaching business, and I get into a lot of errors. Like the website thing doesn't work. I have someone like not pay. I have I lose clientele. I try to find a rental place that goes down. Like all these things, like and kind of like. And so the world is being like, do you really want this?
Yeah.
And why? Like, why do you want this? And then you can either keep pushing because your reason's so strong, or you're pressed with this question being like, I actually fucking don't know why. I don't know why I'm still doing this. And maybe I need to, and maybe because my intent behind it wasn't the proper intent. And I always ask myself this, like is it because my intention behind this thing isn't true enough or isn't authentic or deep enough? And that's why it's not working out. And then I need to come back to my why, come back to and come from a better, authentic place. And would you say that, like, is that something that you experience? Or?
I have one of my favorite quotes by Tony Robbins that it says, life happens for you and not to you. So whenever something happens in your life, it's happening for you to wake up and to change approach or to find purpose or find meaning in whatever you're doing. So whenever I have like a setback or something doesn't go my way, instead of getting angry or whatever, I'm like, okay, why is this happening? So what is the universe or God or whatever you believe into? What does it want from me? So is it because I have to change road, or that person is not meant to cross my path, or I start questioning those things that happen to me, but I never get mad at things because it's something that I can't control. So I can control how I react, and my own behavior, not the environment and things.
So where is your why at the moment?
My why?
Where's that sitting?
My why for my business online? Or for my...
Well, I'm assuming that your business online is kind of funding your...
My
purpose. So let's go with the greater picture.
The greater picture is because I want to do something good for the environment, for the world, and because I want people to be happy. It sounds so, kind of fairy tale. But it's true. Like when you go through a lot of darkness, you just want to see the light, and not only you, but in everyone's. A lot of the times people ask me like, why are you always so kind, or why do you do always, good things, or sharing your knowledge or whatever for free? I'm like, this is things that I learned. Why should I keep it for myself? If I change and I'm happy, why should I keep it for myself? And that's it. So I want to do something good. And when you grow, when you do something good for others, you grow and you're happy within yourself as well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
But you probably know my next question. Why?
No, but that's the thing. Yeah. I already gave you the answer, like kind of deep.
I'm sure there's a physical again, right? So why do you want to?
Because, personally in my life, I got help when I was 16 years old, when I went through depression, and if it wasn't for those people, I wouldn't be here talking with you. Because I think that's what the world needs. Someone that is just kind and do stuff for others.
How do you find that yourself like that? Do you find it quite difficult to be that person?
No.
Okay.
Because like you will see, like when you do things for others, it gives you a reward that is even better than when you do things for yourself. When you see someone else telling, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't do this, or I feel so grateful for these things, or I overcame a challenge, I overcame a fear, or whatever, thanks to you. It's not just, for your self-esteem, but just because you know that their person is living a better life. So it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm glad there are people with your mindset out there.
Yeah, it took a long time, It
does.
I always say like you have to be selfish and like selfless in order to help others. So first you have to help yourself, and that's something I worked on like pretty much last 10 years maybe.
Yeah, it's constant work.
And now I want to help others with the same tools that I had.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go into these tools a bit, because I want to. I guess the point of this podcast is to kind of help people that might be in a similar or were in a similar spot where you were beforehand, and we want to help them. So you had depression, you had people that helped you out, but then out of that, then what tools did you use to, I guess, develop your mindset and to become selfish in some sense, to get your place to a place where you can help others. And,
So I would say the first thing is to trade your expectation for appreciation. So be grateful and gratitude. So the same things that I said before, like life is what happens for you and not to you. So when you start appreciate the little things that you have in life, you start like expecting things.
Can we touch on that? So like when you say start appreciating, are you saying like are you being mindful when you eat? You're saying like a prayer. Are you writing down journals like gratitudes? Like how are you?
Everyone is different. Like for me, I can't really meditate. Like I can't sit down, and kind of that zen voice and meditate. Yeah. But for me, it's walking. Okay. So when I go walking, and maybe I go to the beach or in nature, and I slow down, then when I can, embrace my thoughts and thinking about what I have available in my life, even if it's a shitty day or whatever happened into my life. Like for me, one of my biggest change was like I always been mad because my mom had an accident when I was 7, and I always thought like if she didn't have the accident, everything would be different. And I got so mad because my mom had the accident, but actually now I'm grateful because she's still alive. So even like the illness that came after and everything, she's still with me. While that day, I could have lost her, or like I lost my cat, like weird thing. But instead of being mad that she passed away before, being old or whatever, I appreciate the time that I had with her. When you do these little shifts, then when you can appreciate more and not get so mad at the universe, at the world, at the circumstances. You can't control everything, as I said.
Yeah.
So you have to control how you react to things.
Yeah, I think that's what alchemy is. So like an alchemist. Yeah. So it's like someone who tries to turn metal into gold.
Yeah.
That was like a whole, trade back in the day. And metaphorically speaking, I think that's like changing the metal or like the poison or an unpure substance in yourself into purity, which is gold. And so it's like finding that, it's turning, it's finding that uniqueness in yourself, or finding that golden value within you that purifies you. Because that's why gold, I think, is a symbol of enlightenment in that sense. And I think that's what you're actually doing now. You're turning a negative experience into a positive experience. And you're changing, which is a form of alkalinity as well, right?
Yeah.
You're changing the pH levels within yourself because you're changing the way that you react to things. And you're now calmer in this situation when you reflect on it. You're not releasing cortisol. You're not stressed out. It's all these things actually happening internally, which I think is really, really cool. So I love the whole, I guess, analogy of the alchemist in that situation. Kind of figure where I was going with that. It's definitely somewhere. But I've definitely experienced that myself as well. And I would write a lot about dating the universe. I have this term where it's like I'll go and set dates with the universe, like as if it's an actual relationship. Because it kind of is, right? You say going out in nature and going for a walk.
Yeah.
But so you can go for a walk and you can just be ignorant, and you can be walking around not paying attention. You could be having a negative mindset. You could be disengaged from the present moment or whatever. So it's like, why don't I say I'm going to go on a date with it, and because if I'm dating it, I'm in a relationship with it, then there's a bit of a give and take, right? So it's like
I have my dates.
So I got my dates now with the universe. I call it a date with the universe, and so.
It's funny, it doesn't cheat on you.
I hope not. Can you imagine? Probably is. Yeah, it's like every other one. Nah, actually, I've never been cheated on. In a relationship. When I'm seeing someone, but you're allowed to do that. So in an actual relationship, no, I've been quite lucky. I found that as a helpful way, because it's like a give back and receiving, and you being present. So when you're walking around, it's like your actual attention is on the universe, and it's you're looking at the ocean, at the sky, and there's this it's there for you as well, and you're there, and you are there for it to be witnessed, and there's this beautiful relationship in that. So I found that very helpful to touch back on what you were saying in terms of a practical tool. What are the tools and
engaging with this, I would say focus.
Okay.
So when you are on your date with the universe, I love that. So what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm dating the universe.
I haven't been on a date with the universe actually.
But you're focused. So it's the same. Like when you focus on the present, the worries of the future or the pain of the past is not there. When you focus on the past, then you can be angry or you can be sad depending on what your past is. And when you focus on the future, you're already worrying of something that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. So if you want to change your state of mind, you change your focus.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself thinking about what is wrong or what's missing, what shouldn't have in your life, then you're gonna be in a negative state of mind. If you focus on what's good in your life and your present moment and on appreciating the good things, then you're gonna be in a good state of mind. And there's it's called the emotional triad. I don't know if you have ever heard of it. So your state of mind, it depends on these three things. Let's think of like a triangle. So one is focus. So focus on the good things and focus on what's available, because what's wrong, it's always available. So focus on the good things. And the second one is physiology. So you can change your state of mind just changing your body posture. When you're sad, you're usually, with the show. But it's cool. When you're sad, when you think about a depressed person, imagine in your mind, how does he talk, or she or he? How is the posture? Where is he looking? All the physiology. And so if you find yourself, in that kind of depressed state of mind, change just your physiology and breathe, and you will change your state of mind straight away. And there's something called the power postures as well. So depending if you're sitting down or if you're standing up, the superwoman postures are just the hands on your hips and standing up and shoulders back, heads up, and walk straight. And if you're doing for 2 minutes, it decreases the cortisol and increase the testosterone.
I just imagine myself getting up in the morning,
and do the Superwoman.
Just like walking out to the beach.
Yeah.
Just,
Like, I think it's from some research in the US. I don't remember now the name of the research. But yeah, it has all numbers, and just write down Google like power posture and the cortisol and testosterone. Yeah, and remember it decreases cortisol by 33%. That's a lot. So if you feel like you're stressed or not, you can do that. Or there's also the tapping. I don't know if you ever heard.
The somatic stuff?
Yeah, it's like not a medical stuff. It is, but like if you tap certain points, like near the eyebrows and near the eyes, on top of your mouth, near the neck, near the shoulder, and the armpit. You can also feel more relaxed because they're also the points of the acupuncture kind of thing. So you can do it just by tapping with your hands.
Okay.
It's called tapping. Tapping. Yeah, there's a lot of techniques. There's so many. So you can just find whatever works better for you. If it's meditation, if it's better working, if it's tapping. Like everyone has his own thing.
I guess that's actually the messaging behind the podcast. It's like behind what I'm trying to attempt as well. Mainly, one for myself, because as you said, you need self-development to improve things. It's like I genuinely have an interest in learning different tools for myself to use in different times of crises or whatever it is. But also there's desire to share those tools as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, because they're not going to work for everyone. Like one tool might work for you, but not for someone else. And you might have a bit more of like a chilled, relaxed kind of temperament. You might have a more excited temperament. And so the way, some people can sit down for 20 minutes and be okay with that. Some people can't do that. So it's like, the whole point of this is to figure out, like, who are you? What's your characteristics like? What's your personality like? And then what tools exist out there that might be beneficial for you as opposed to other ones that you might find really difficult. Because if it's really hard, you're just not going to do it. And that's that as well. Some things I'm like, that just doesn't sit well with me. I just can't do that.
But like everyone can do a power posture in the morning. 2 minutes.
Anyone can do a power posture.
In front of the mirror. And if you read it like also with positive affirmation, is even better.
Yeah.
Like find 3 positive affirmation, even if it's something that you
haven't. Are you doing this every morning?
No, not in the morning. Usually in the night. Not the power posture, but the positive affirmation. Every now and then, the power posture. But you can do it also when you sit down. You don't have to do
power posture.
When you sit down, like working on your laptop. That is something that I do. Like instead of curving I always stay with my shoulders back and the heads up. And sometimes when you're boring, you just have to move up. If you move your body, you're gonna get more energy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a fact.
Instead of getting a coffee, move your body.
Yeah, and it's the coffee. If you get a spike in coffee, like you wake up, it's actually the warmth of the coffee, the temperature, the warm water. That actually gives you that first kick.
Yeah.
The coffee kicks in about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
So it's interesting about how the warmth helps you move. So you went to Tony Robbins. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
So
I love that.
I've never been to Tony Robbins. I've always wanted to go to Tony Robbins. But like, what was that like? And
first thing I think.
What the hell did you learn?
It's like, first thing I think people have to know what Tony Robbins is, because maybe they don't know.
I'm sure they do.
No, there's so many people that don't know about Tony Robbins. So just Google it. He's a mindset and life and business coach. He's one of the most famous in the US. And I've been following, I never heard of Tony Robbins till 2 years ago.
Wait, 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. And when you have, then we talk about the seminar, but when you have the universe telling you something, I was traveling with this guy and he was reading a book about money. I don't remember which book was it, in Italian, about this Tony Robbins. And I read 3 pages and I got so bored because it was all about financial stuff and I hadn't started my business online. So I was completely off that work, And then I kept bumping into that name, Tony Robbins.
His name's everywhere.
He was calling me. And then one night I was traveling, so I was sleeping in my car, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch a movie. And there's the documentary about Tony Robbins. I'm not your guru, and I'm like, fucking Tony Robbins again. Okay, let's give it a go. Instead of a book, it's a movie. And then that documentary changed my life. I was like, this is so freaking cool. I was already into mindset and I never heard of him, and I was like, I want to know anything. And that night, I think I stayed awake until 3 a.m. just Google anything about Tony Robbins. And I got into that stuff. I started reading books and I started following, on social media and, everything, everywhere. and and then I signed up to the newsletter, so I got, invite invitation for some free webinars or those kind of style things. And in this March, this was like 6 months ago, whenever it was March, I booked my flight to go to Bali, to study traveling full time again, and no plans. And 3 days later, an ad pops up, and Tony Robbins is coming to Sydney, and I'm like, shit. I was just planning to leave Australia for good, and now I have another reason to come back. And the ticket was quite expensive because it's freaking Tony Robbins. That's what happened. And I'm like, what should I do? Because I just bought my flight ticket, my flight to Bali, and I need those money for traveling, and I'm like, this is once in a million opportunity. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going for it, and I just bought the ticket. I was like, I trust in my gut, and I bought the ticket, and I went to the seminar 2 months ago now, almost, and it was the best experience ever. So you learn a lot, and you work a lot on yourself. So this one particularly was Unleash the Power Within. It has a lot of different seminars, and this in particular is about yourself. And if I went to therapy for like 10 years, it wouldn't have the same effect that those 4 days. It's massive. Okay. And don't ask me what I did in 4 days, because it would take us like 3 days to talk about it.
Like a quick summary.
Like some of the things that I've been talking about so far.
Let's say what's day like?
Day 3, transformation day.
Okay, so what's day 1, 2, and 3? What's the
day 1, you start working on your patterns, or on your behaviors, on your thoughts and things that your habits, let's say, and your belief system, and try to understand where your belief system comes from. What are your patterns? When you get mad, what you do. When you're sad, what you do. If you have problem with food, if you have problem with anger, any problem that you have. Or relationship, if you have problem with attachment, or if you have problem with get attached to someone. Anyone is his own. And so the first day you work on these patterns, and you start developing new patterns, and you move a lot throughout the day. It's like 14 hours a day, and you are always pumped with energy, with music, and you do a lot of stuff on it. 12 to 14 hours. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I hear he does that. Like he's
he does a lot. You burn more calories in that 4 days than you could go to a gym like for a week.
Because I went to side note, but I went to a similar thing by Dr. Espen, which is like the quantum breathwork thing, and he does retreats as well. But the entire day was just dancing, and I'm like. There's definitely something behind that. I'm like, I wonder if I just chucked on music and dance for 14 hours.
Yeah.
Would that raise the vibrational frequency in the room, and might be able to change habits, and I'm just really pumped up. And maybe we should try that. But anyways, so
I don't know if you listen to music, but when you listen to pop music, you wanna dance, you wanna move. Even if you can't dance, 14 hours is a long time. But you also, surrounded by that kind of vibe. So the environment.
That's
day 1. The first day you actually go and do the fire walking. So I walked on fire.
Wait.
On chakra,
Oh, you did that as well?
Yeah, on the first day.
Okay. So how did you
I can say.
What was it like? What is it
like? It wasn't, that long. It was like 8 steps kind of thing.
Still,
you are working on burning fire.
One step is
it's already something.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. That's all the first day is about. So you can't do certain things, you can't change, you can't overcome traumas, you can't change your patterns. It all comes down to your mindset. And so I say you can't walk on fire. I show you that you can, if you just change your state of mind, if you change your mindset. So like half an hour before, you start pumping it up for the fire walk. And so it shows you how you have to walk. You don't have to run. You have just to walk like you walk every day. You just have to look straight, and in your mind you don't have to think about the burning fire on your feet. You have to think about something when you practice. You think about something that makes you in a good state, and then you just keep saying yes, 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 and you just keep counting like hummus or something that distracts you from the heat. And actually, by the time you step on those, you don't get burned, Even if you're taking like that half a second, I would say, for every step. and you just go through it, and you don't feel anything because you're so focused in your mind, you're so focused on your thoughts, positive thoughts, that you don't think about the burning. And before, you can look around and you can, understand what you're about to do. But yeah, just keep looking or look at it and stay in your state of mind. It's insane. I have video. Yeah, I was like,
you can put this on Instagram.
Nah, like I put it on my stories.
Yeah, you should put that up. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
To just have a video of you walking on by. So does everyone do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's optional.
How many people are there?
I think it was 7,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and basically everyone that did it. And you got no blisters, nothing on your feet the day after.
Yeah, like there's no one's like walking out in
no, it's quite safe. And then the second day you keep going with the breathing patterns and doing more exercises. And the thing is, I went by myself, and 7,000 people. You are forced to share your exercises with the people you have, around. And that was really powerful because at the beginning I didn't want to share it. I wanted to keep it for myself because, it's my limiting beliefs. But actually, talking with someone helps. Even if they don't know, they don't give you any answer, but just taking it out and say it out loud and say what you want to change. Say, because you can find how you want to change and how you can change. It's so powerful. And so I connected with all the people that were around me, and in few days we became so close because you shared your deepest thoughts. And then you have a lot of meditation and gratitude in those days. And day 3 is transformation day. So whatever you did on the first 2 days, he does something that I cannot explain to you. But it was the most awful moments in my life. It was horrible. And it's called the Dickens process. You can Google it. You're not gonna find videos about it because it's awful. But he talks about it.
So Dickens, D-E-A-C-O-N?
No, Dickens. Dickens.
Okay.
Process. So basically, what it does is all your limiting beliefs that cause you pain in the past, so everything that held you back in the past is gonna make you feel that pain and project it into the future. So if you keep thinking, if you keep having those limiting beliefs or all the pain, it makes you in this state, puts you in this state of mind of negativity, of high negativity, that you start suffering. And after a while, there were like 7,000, me included, people screaming and just losing their shit because you are such in a hard pain, because through the words and through the stimuli, you get into that state of mind and you see the worst consequences ever in your life, like in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. I didn't get so far on 20 years. On my 10 years, I was gone in my mind, And and then once you get that point, it's saying like, do you want to keep living like that with those limiting beliefs, or do you want to change? And of course you want to change. You don't want to have that shit in your life, and you know what you have to do to change that life. And so it reverses the things and it gets you to the empowered one. But it's something you work throughout the 2 days. So after like that transformation, and then he does the gratitude and everything, you just feel so free from all the pain, from all the limiting. Like, I can't explain you. I have chills right now just thinking about it. Because like I felt so free. That if I went to therapy for 10 years, it wouldn't have the same effect.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's just goes to show me.
And I'm like, it's something I could never do to someone.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of hard and courage just
what's
to
he doing?
talk.
Is he talking you through this?
He's talking. He's just talking.
How long is he talking for? Like how long does this go for?
I think it was 40 minutes or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea.
That's just incredible.
It felt like forever. I have no idea.
He's a G up.
It was, but it's unbelievable. Like the process that you go through, like from the pain to the empowering and the freedom that you feel, the light. Like I felt so light. I felt so free.
How are you feeling now? Like after post.
It's been 2 months, but I'm still on top of it.
Okay.
Because like on the same day, you find out like
this
what
is
you
the
want.
5 a.m. stuff now. This is why you've been waking up at 5.
Yeah, 5 a.m.
Well,
it's my own challenge. It
yeah,
doesn't
but-
make me wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, but you're using the energy, let's say,
Yeah.
from that and
Yeah.
the change in character to now instill these new habits.
Yeah.
As a source, right? That's
I decided like because I would love to enjoy more the afternoon and doing other things, or I rather do all the things first thing in the morning. Yeah. Because if I for how I am,
yeah.
if I have to do it during the evening, I'm not gonna do it. Like my willpower is gone at the end of the day. So yeah, the first days were actually hard, and I quit. Like I was baking, and I quit the vape from one day to another. I quit coffee. And I started I did this 10 days challenge with no meat, no dairy, no animal products, and cleansing your body and stuff. And that's something you learn on the first day.
Yeah, I think it's when it comes down to that that really traumatic moment or that really terrible moment that kind of just that was for me. It was a bit of an offset as well. I had a trip a couple of years back where it was quite I'd say in some sense traumatic, and then I was able to then use that negativity to integrate new habits as well. We'll start wrapping this up pretty soon. We'll start wrapping up pretty soon, but I wanted to quickly ask you about, because I know a few people might be interested and they might actually share the same desires. They want to start working remotely. They want to get out of their 9-to-5 job, and you've managed to do that. So do you wanna tell everyone a bit more about that and what you're doing, how you can help them as well potentially, and how it all works?
So the first thing is understand why.
Okay.
Why? Why do you want to get out of the 9-to-5? So what are you looking for? Because maybe it's not the remote job that you're looking for. So why are you trying to escape that kind of routine of the kind of, maybe it's not a 9-to-5, maybe it's to find something more purposeful, if you want to work remote. Because of course everyone wants to, be on the beach and enjoy their time. I think everyone would like to do it. But becoming an entrepreneur is something different than, just posting on social media that you're on the beach. It requires a lot of work because you're building your own future. But if you really want to do that, you have to find someone that already do it, because he or she or me can tell you how to do it. So the first thing that I did was to find someone that already had that and has the information. How do you do that? Because you have to start from zero. You can do it by yourself. I mean, you can do a lot of researches, but you have to understand what you're after and what is the thing you have to go after. If you want to be a freelancer, or if you want to make your own product or service, or if you want just to, find the right partnership and then start from that. That's what I did, because I had no product, no service. I didn't use social media, and I was like, I just want to go full-time online, and I don't know how, because I don't have any skill, I don't have any product, I don't have any service. So I found this girl, and she told me everything about this partnership, and it was the right partnership because it's a long-standing company that has been on the market for 50 years. So it's not like the last startup that is gonna fail in 2 years. And the products were something I was aligned with, because it's about health and sustainability, and it's not makeup stuff or integrators or whatever. If you're into that stuff, if you're into that makeup, go for that. So right products, right partnership, and then full-time online. So I didn't want to, have an inventory or stocking at home, because I'm gonna travel. So I can't, do the drop shipping kind of thing, that where I buy stuff and then I sell it again, or trading crypto. That there's so many options in outside. So you have to look what is for you. And then there was this online community. There was all the support, and what I felt okay, when I have questions, I'm gonna have people that have answers, and there's full of coaches. And in the sign up package, everything was included. So digital course, copywriting, communication, how to run ads, how to go organic, how to do marketing offline, online. So it was and it was so cheap, and I was why not give it a try? Just check it out and see what happens. And I fell in love with the product. I fell in love with the purpose behind it. I fell in love with anything. I was like, I think I found it. And and my own goal is then to fund myself, to open my own childcare. Of course, I haven't left that behind, but it's such a big project and it's getting bigger and bigger every day. And this thing that I'm doing, this business, is gonna bring me there. It's just gonna take time, and I have to push through it. So for whoever wants to start first, find your why, understand what you want. Get information, just ask, research, do whatever, and get yourself a coach. Because you can do it with yourself, by yourself, but it's gonna take ages, it's gonna take money, you are gonna fail, you're gonna try, you're gonna learn. Like, you can either keep trying, keep failing, and keep going, or and succeed, so eventually, or then just give up. When you have a coach, you have a problem, hey coach, what's wrong? There you go, the answers. And that's why I love about.
Where would you find a coach from? How much you spend coaching?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with my business, the coaching is included.
Right.
So like for people that wants to start this business, they don't have any product skill or anything, I'm gonna be the coach.
Right.
Because I did the same thing. I went through the same process. I'm gonna have the answer for the same questions. And if I don't have an answer, there's a community behind.
Yeah.
There's 24/7 support. We have a lot of channels. We have a lot of things where we can get the answers. Ooh. So that's amazing. That's the best of the business opportunity ever, and the compensation plan, like the money, the actual money you get, mind blowing. So it was like ticking all the things that I want to.
So you found that.
And I found other opportunities before for working online. One of those was mainly traveling focus. With working with Booking and Airbnb to get the cheaper accommodation, and you were earning points to then use it for traveling again. But I was like, I'm not into that luxury kind of travel style. And when I looked at it for hostels or for cheap accommodation, it wasn't that kind of a deal. And I was like, yeah, I don't like that, because it's not for me. Because it's not something, I can do it like for a while, but then I'm gonna get bored. And especially I'm gonna have to plus my social media with this. So get the membership, get it. And I don't want to do that. What I do, everything happens in the background. Yeah. What I do with my social media now is try to educate people and try to take out all my tools and all the mindset and business tools that can just help. Like I did with you, I was just sharing, and I was like, there's like a lot that I can share. Yeah. And I do also with my friend. She has her own brand. And yesterday, actually, I was helping her running the ads and finding the strategy to get her to succeed and get more sales. And it's something completely different from my business, but it's a friend of mine, and I did it for free. She just paid for lunch.
That's pretty cool. That's nice of you.
Yeah.
So where else if someone wants to reach out to you, they want to find your stuff?
Instagram mainly. So Hair White Chronicles.
Yeah.
Should I say it better?
No. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to your Instagram so people can reach out to you.
Yeah, Instagram or I would say also email, but Instagram is much easier nowadays. Yeah, so I would just say send me a DM, send like I'm interested, I'm ready, or information or whatever, or just follow me, and I always engage with my followers and try to understand where they come from, It's always cool to know.
No, you've been a pleasure to have on today's show.
Yeah, thank you.
Just in general, just a good energy to be around. So, I hope people reach out to you and you can help more people with your why.
Yeah, if you want to start an online business, guys, reach out to me and I will help you out. And if it's not for you, that's fair enough. Find whatever is helpful for you. That's it. I'm not trying to get people involved in something that they don't want to.
So, we'll see how it all pans out. But thanks for coming on. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Been a lot of fun. So hopefully it was the same for yourself.
Yeah, and I hope that the tools help us.
Yeah, I think they will. I think the tools are pretty good. And so thanks you guys for listening to today's show, and we'll see you guys next week. Awesome. Thanks, Desi.